Welcome to the science lesson, primary 6, term 1. My name is Teacher John. At the beginning of this lesson, at the beginning of the previous lesson, we looked at vertebrates or classification table of vertebrates. We said vertebrates are animals with a backbone. Vertebrates are animals with a backbone. Then we divided vertebrates into two groups. We have warm-blooded vertebrates and cold-blooded vertebrates. We said warm-blooded vertebrates are animals with a constant body temperature. Warm-blooded vertebrates are animals with a constant body temperature, and we grouped warm-blooded vertebrates into birds and mammals. We looked at birds and mammals. Then after that, we also have to look at cold-blooded vertebrates. Cold-blooded vertebrates are animals whose body temperature is not constant. Then we also say that cold-blooded vertebrates are divided into three groups. We have reptiles, amphibians, and fish. Reptiles, amphibians, and fish. So we're going to look at those three groups of cold-blooded vertebrates. Let's begin with reptiles. We begin with reptiles because previously we looked at birds and mammals. Now that we have begun looking at cold-blooded vertebrates, we want to start with the first group, which is reptiles. Now, reptiles are cold-blooded animals which move by crawling. Reptiles are cold-blooded animals that move by crawling. Reptiles are cold-blooded animals that move by crawling. Reptiles are cold-blooded animals that move by crawling. Now, the word reptile comes from a word called reptilia, which means crawlers. So in other words, reptiles move by crawling. That's what we are saying. Reptiles are cold-blooded animals that move by crawling. Next, look at characteristics of reptiles. Characteristics of reptiles. Characteristics of reptiles. Characteristics of reptiles. One, their bodies are covered with scales. 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 Number two, They have a backbone. They have a backbone. They have a backbone. They have a backbone. Then they breathe through lungs. They breathe through lungs. They breathe through lungs. Number 4, they reproduce by laying eggs. They reproduce by laying eggs. They reproduce by laying eggs. They undergo internal fertilization. They undergo internal fertilization. They undergo internal fertilization. So here are some of the characteristics of reptiles. We said their bodies are covered with scales. They have a backbone. They breathe through lungs. They reproduce by laying eggs. They undergo internal fertilization, meaning that fertilization takes place inside their bodies. Then lastly, they are cold-blooded. They are cold-blooded. Being cold-blooded means that their body temperature changes according to the environment. Their body temperature changes according to the environment. That's what we mean by they are cold-blooded. Or you can say their body temperature is not constant. Their body temperature is not constant. So these are the characteristics of reptiles. Next, look at groups of reptiles. Reptiles are grouped into around 4 groups. Groups of reptiles. Groups of reptiles. One, we have snakes. Snakes are grouped under reptiles. Number 2, we have a group called lizards. Lizards. Number 3, we have alligators. Alligators. 4, we have crocodiles. Then 5, we have tortoise. Tortoise. Those are groups of reptiles. Such snakes, lizards, tortoise, alligators, crocodiles, and so on. So we shall begin with the first group called snakes. We shall begin with snakes. 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 Snakes are groups of reptiles with no limbs, and they move by slithering. Snakes have no limbs. Have no limbs. Snakes move by slithering. Snakes move by slithering. Snakes move by slithering. Then snakes molt. Snakes molt. What do you mean when we say snakes molt? It means that they grow a new skin, they shed the old skin and grow a new skin to increase in size. So we shall say snakes carrot molting or snakes molt. Shall see what molting is. Or shed the old skin. They shed the old skin to grow a new one. They molt or they shed the old skin to grow a new one. Snakes have a forked tongue. Snakes have a forked tongue. Snakes have a forked tongue which acts as a sense organ for smelling. And also says snakes use a forked tongue Snakes use a forked tongue for smelling. Snakes have a forked tongue for smelling. Then snakes move with a forked tongue when it is outside for protection. Snakes move with a forked tongue outside they move. So most of the time you find that snakes will move with their forked tongue when it is out for protection and to easily trap their prey and to snare. Snakes move with a forked tongue outside for protection and to trap their prey. Trap their prey. So those are some of the facts you need to know about snakes. That's what you need to know about snakes. 1, snakes have no limbs. Snakes have no limbs, meaning they have no legs. So because they have no legs, how do they move? They move by slithering. They move by slithering or contraction of their muscles. Then snakes molt. Molting simply means shedding the old skin to grow a new skin. That's what we mean by molting. So they may ask you, why do snakes molt? Snakes molt to grow a new skin and increase in size. That's why they molt. Then snakes have a forked tongue. Snakes have a forked tongue. This forked tongue is used for smelling. The forked tongue is used for smelling. Then snakes also move with their tongue outside. So when they are moving, their tongue is always outside. The reason why they move with their tongue outside their mouth is for protection and to easily trap their prey. That's why they move with their tongue when it is outside. And B, for question. Why do snakes molt? Why do snakes molt? To grow a new skin. Snakes molt to grow a new skin and increase in size. Snakes molt to grow a new skin and increase in size. That's why they molt. Then you also need to know what molting is. And B, molting is the shedding of the old skin, shedding the old skin, shedding the old skin to grow a new skin and increase in size. So animals like snakes, even insects also molt. The reason why they molt is to grow a new skin and increase in size. So molting is the shedding the old skin to grow a new one. Molting is the shedding the old skin to grow a new one. As simple as that. They ask you why snakes molt is to grow a new skin and increase in size. Then we look at groups of snakes. Snakes are grouped into 3 groups or categories. We have poisonous snakes, non-poisonous snakes, groups of snakes. Groups of snakes. We say 1, we have poisonous snakes. Poisonous snakes. Poisonous snakes. Number 2, non-poisonous snakes. Non-poisonous snakes. Number 3, we have constrictors. Constrictors. These are the 3 groups of snakes. So there's an activity you're supposed to answer just about what we have so far learned. That activity is on page On page 25, please answer that activity. Then we proceed to poisonous snakes. Poisonous snakes. Poisonous snakes. Remember, we said snakes are grouped into three. We have poisonous snakes, then we have non-poisonous snakes, then we also have constrictors. So we're going to begin with poisonous snakes. Poisonous snakes are snakes with poison glands and fangs. These are snakes with poison glands and fangs. I say poisonous snakes are snakes with poison glands, are snakes with poison glands and fangs. Poisonous snakes are snakes with poison glands and fangs. Poisonous snakes are snakes with poison glands and fangs. Then poisonous snakes have a pair of hollow teeth or fangs. They have a pair of poison fangs. They have a pair of poison fangs. Mind the spelling of the word fangs. The word fangs is F-A-N-G-S, fangs. These are the teeth of the snakes, but scientifically we call them poison fangs. They are used for biting and injecting poison into their enemies. That's why they have those poison fangs, for protection. Then next we look at these poisonous snakes produce poison called venom. Poisonous snakes produce poison or venom. They produce poison or venom. And this venom is injected into their enemies for protection. So when a poisonous snake bites you, the poison will enter into your body, then can easily kill you. We are going to look at effects of poison on blood. Poison can make blood to clot. So if a snake bites you, you have to be given first aid as quickly as possible, because especially these poisonous snakes, they are very, very, very dangerous to our health. Then snake venom can be used to make serum, NB. Snake venom can be used to make serum, which is used to treat against snake bites, which is used to treat against snake bites, which is used to treat against snake bites. I I repeat, snakes or snake venom can be used to make serum. Then serum is used to treat against snake bites. So as much as snake poison or venom is harmful to our health, the snake venom can be used to make medicine or what we call serum. This serum is a medicine which is used to treat against snake bites. So that medicine is got from venom. So venom is dangerous to our health, but at the same time, if we can use it to make serum, then it also becomes useful. Because time will come, they may ask you, how are snakes important? How is snake venom important? You can use snake venom to make serum, which is used to treat against snake bites. The word serum is S-E-R-U-M. S-E-R-U-M. That's how we spell the word serum. Then you look at effects of snake poison on blood, or effect of venom, snake venom on blood. The same effects of snake poison on blood. Effects of snake poison on blood. Now, when a snake bites you, venom will go in our blood and it will have some effects. For example, one, venom or snake poison lowers the temperature. Lowers the temperature of blood. Lowers the temperature. Lowers the temperature of blood. Venom lowers the temperature of blood. That's already one effect. So if a snake bites you, the blood temperature will lower because of venom. Then it causes blood clotting. Venom can make blood to clot. Venom causes blood clotting. When we say blood clotting, we simply mean blood solidifies and it fails to flow in your blood vessels because it has solidified. When it solidifies, we say it would have clotted, or that's what we call blood clotting. When somebody says you have a blood clot, it simply means part of your blood has become solid. So when venom comes into contact with your blood will clot, or it will change into solid. And that's the effect of venom on blood. It can lower the temperature of blood, then it can also lead to blood clotting. Those are the two effects of venom or snake poison on blood. And next we look at first aid for snake bites. First aid for snake bites. Since you've seen the effect of venom on blood, in case you are bitten by a snake, what do? You just cry. First aid for snake bites. First aid for snake bites. So if you are bitten by a snake, one is calm the casualty. Calm the casualty. So someone who has been bitten by a snake should calm down, because you are the first aider who is giving first aid. You need to calm the casualty. You need to tell the victim that as much as you've been bitten by a snake, you are not going to die. You are still going to live. We are going to give you first aid, so that, because some people can die because of fear. Okay? Just because a snake has bitten you, because of too much fear, you can end up losing your life. So, as a first aider is giving you first aid. As a first aider, you need to calm the casualty. The casualty is the injured person who is being given first aid. So, as we give them first aid, we calm them down. So, calm the casualty. After calming the casualty, you identify the fang marks. Identify the fang marks. So you calm the casualty. I don't expect, if a snake has bitten somebody and you start telling the victim that, okay, you've been bitten by a snake, so for you are going to die. That is not calming the casualty. Calming the casualty, you assure them that you are going to help them, you're going to give them first aid, and they will be fine. That's the first thing you need to tell the victim or the casualty, that everything is under control. Not telling them that now, since you've been bitten by a snake, for you are dead. That is the very wrong way of giving first aid. So you calm the casualty, then identify the fang marks. Identifying fang marks is very, very important. You have to identify where the snake has bitten the victim. Is it the leg? Is it the hand? Is it the back? Where exactly? Identify the fang mark. The point the snake has bitten the victim. That will help you identify the. So once you identify the fang marks, then you are able to help the victim, because you cannot start giving first aid when you don't know the exact place where the snake has bitten somebody. Then tie slightly above the bitten part. Tie slightly above the bitten area. Tie slightly above the bitten area. You can get a piece of cloth, get a string, a thread, and tie slightly above the bitten area. For example, if the snake has bitten somebody on the leg, you tie above, not below, above the bitten area. Reason is to prevent blood from flowing towards the heart. That's why when you're giving first aid for snake bites, you tie above the bitten area to prevent blood from flowing towards the heart. Because once that snake poison reaches the heart, then the victim will die instantly. Then, lastly, take the victim to the nearest health unit. Take the victim to the hospital, the nearest hospital or health unit. Take the victim to the nearest hospital or to the nearest health unit. So in 4 sentences, you can easily give first aid against snake bites. 1, calm the casualty or the accident victim. Number 2, identify the fang marks. Tie slightly above the bitten area and take the victim to the nearest health unit or to the nearest hospital. You have to know that first aid is not treatment. First aid is not treatment. We give first aid to save life, to promote quick recovery, but you are not treating. As much as you have tied slightly above the bitten area, snake poison is still in the blood of the victim. So this person should be rushed to the hospital for treatment as quickly as possible. So don't tie slightly above the bitten area, then you leave the victim. This person will still die. Remember, first aid is not treatment. We are giving first aid to save life. That's why after you have given first aid, you have saved life. Now take the victim to the nearest hospital to be treated. Then a question: why do we tie slightly above the bitten area? Why do we tie slightly above the bitten area? So when you are giving first aid for snake bites, you are advised to tie slightly above the bitten area. Why? Is to prevent blood from flowing towards, or poison with blood from flowing towards the heart. To prevent poison from flowing towards the heart. To prevent poison from flowing towards the heart. To prevent poison from flowing towards the heart. That's why you are advised to tie slightly above the bitten area to prevent poison from flowing towards the heart. Examples of poisonous snakes. Examples of poisonous snakes. Examples of poisonous snakes. Examples of poisonous snakes. Now we have a good number of poisonous snakes. One, we have black mamba. Black mamba. Black mamba is a poisonous snake. We have green mamba. Green mamba. We have Gabon viper. Gabon viper. Gabon viper. We have cobra. Cobra. We have rattlesnake. Rattlesnake. And I would advise you to start watching Natural Wild. There's that channel on DSTV. Those who have DSTV at home. Even ZAM. We have that program, that channel called Natural Wild. It is where they show snakes, mammals, reptiles, and so on. So when you watch that channel, you'll be in a position to understand some of these snakes we're talking about. We have black mamba, green mamba, Gabon viper, cobra, and rattlesnake. Rattlesnake, those are examples of poisonous snakes. Said cobra, black mamba. Then there's another one called puff adder. Puff adder. Puff adder. Puff adder is also a poisonous snake. Puff adder. So poisonous snakes, we have black mamba, green mamba, Gabon viper, cobra, rattlesnakes, then puff adder. Then there's another one called boomslang. 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 Lang with the A. Boomslang. These are examples of poisonous snakes. So in case you are bitten by any of these snakes, then you know what to do. First aid is very, very important. Then we said poisonous snakes, they have poison fangs, and these poison fangs are curved backwards. Why are poison fangs curved backwards? Why? That's a question. Why are poison fangs curved backwards? Why are poison fangs curved backwards? One is to prevent the prey from escaping. Prevent the prey from escaping. Prevent the prey from escaping. Then to ease swallowing of the prey. To ease swallowing. Ease swallowing of the prey. To ease swallowing of the prey. So this is one of the reasons why the poison fangs are curved backwards. So if you look at the diagram showing a snake, a poisonous snake, you find that the poison fangs are curved facing backwards. Reason: to prevent the prey from escaping, then to ease swallowing of the prey. So that is about poisonous snakes. In our next lesson, we shall look at non-poisonous snakes and constrictors. Otherwise, thank you so much. Make sure you answer the activities which we have told you to answer about snakes and the other previous lessons. God bless you.